Good afternoon, hello. So today I'm going to be making my Asian stock paste. Now I haven't made this for a little while. It's one of those recipes that I don't use all the time because I use my veggie stock paste most of the time, but I've made it more times than I've ever made the chicken or the beef stock. Actually, I've never ever made beef stock. Made chicken a couple of times, but this is a great recipe if, like me, you like the Asian flavors, and it is so simple. And you don't always have all the ingredients. So today I don't have all the ingredients, so we're going to make it up as we go. So I'm going to flip the screen and I'm going to also give you a few tutorials on your TM7 and a few little hacks, okay? So let's flip the screen and get going. So under here, I'll come a bit closer. Hopefully we don't get too much glare. Okay, let me see. Get a bit closer, There we go. How good's that? So, one of the hacks, I'll come back. Can you see my spatula? So, another friend of mine actually asked me about this and I went, oh, I don't know, let's give it a go. And I was keeping it as a secret and then I've seen it pop up all over Facebook. So it wasn't, sorry, Zuzana, it wasn't your idea, but it was a great idea and I love it. So I call this the chimney cap. So it will go on the top there. A lot of the time I don't actually use it up there unless I've got liquid in there. So, but that is a great hack on helping to hold your spatula. And I couldn't find my TM6 or well, you might actually notice I have no TM6 anymore. I've only got my beautiful Sexy 7. But I've got a real old retro TM31 butterfly. So I wanted to give you a little tip / hack on that also. When you're making the fruity dream, or if you're making butter and you've got or meringues, pavlovas this time of year, you take your butterfly out. Your cap is also a great handle for your butterfly so you don't make a big mess all over the bench. Okay, so there are two little hacks I have for you today. Now, this recipe I have written, I just realized I was showing the lid of my, this is how I'm holding my phone today. I don't have a TM6 Thermomix anymore, but I do have a TM6 bowl. If anyone wants a secondhand bowl going cheap, let me know. So I've still got a bowl. Anyhow, I digressed. Recipes. I'm going to come into my recipes, my created recipes. Now I've got over 100 recipes in created. It's a little bit slow, buffering up. And it's one of the first I ever did. Now there's no easy way to search your own created recipes other than to kind of know roughly where they are. And this is toward the bottom. There it is, my Asian stock paste. Okay, the 3 dots next to it, I can add to my shopping list, I can add to my week, or I can cook today. So I'm going to say cook today, even though we're going to go straight into it. Then we're going to come straight into it here. Created by me, total of 20 minutes. It says 20 portions. That's dependent on how much you use. If I love it, and it is still quite salty, just like, oh look, I have to update my photo, won't I? So let's take the lid off and start cooking. And I'll show you my tweaks and my hacks. I'm actually going to pull you back from the screen a little bit now because I need to do a little bit of chopping, okay? So next, and I'll talk you through. If you want the recipe, let me know. I will share it with you. So come down here. It says an onion. So I didn't have an actual onion, but I've got some shallots. So I can tick that off. And it had 100 grams of ginger. I don't know how much ginger I've got. I just cut up a few pieces. I don't know how much is there. It's probably half. Yeah, it's actually half of what it says. And it says, tick that off, don't you love the tick off? Tick it off as you go. And then it says, I'm going to do equal amount of garlic because I have lots of garlic. So I need a little bit more. Whoop. Here we go. Oh, that'll be perfect. Tick that off. Kaffir lime leaves. So I have a beautiful kaffir lime tree out the back. So I just went and cut these off. So I've got probably a bit more than 6, but I love kaffir lime. If you don't like any of these herbs, omit them, okay? So if you live local to me and you want some kaffir lime leaves, let me know and I can harvest some for you. Then it wants fresh turmeric. I didn't have no turmeric today, so I'm actually going to use a bit of radish. It's, I don't know, nothing like turmeric, I know, but anywho, I'm just going to chuck that in, and whatever that will be, double the turmeric. Lemongrass. So I would not put a big piece like that in. I would actually, because particularly down the bottom, that's quite woody. So I've actually got a couple of those, and I'll chuck them in. The other thing I've got are some broccoli stalks, because my husband doesn't eat the broccoli stalk, he only eats the floury bit. And I've also got, that's my lemongrass. I don't have any Dutch carrots, but what I do have is some parsley. So I'm going to throw that in, and I'm also going to throw in the stalks of the parsley, because the flavour in those, you wouldn't eat them because they're quite woody, but I'm going to throw those into my stock because when they're blended down, there's so much flavour in the stalk. So we're going to throw that in, throw all that in. Now, the chilies. I like it spicy, so I leave the seeds in and I leave the membrane in. But in my notes, I'll show you those in a sec, I talk about how to do that to get rid of the heat. Now, I'm also going to add a carrot, just because. I don't know why. Oh yeah, it did say carrot. There you go, coriander root. I'll come to that as well. And it says 150 grams of carrot, so I've got 1 carrot, that's all I've got. And coriander root. Normally I make my CCGG mix with this. If you've got the other bits of the root there, don't use that, but we want this part. So if you don't like coriander, omit it, okay? Or if you're allergic to it, omit it. I'm going to throw all that in. So that's my carrot and my salt. I just buy rock salt, just loose rock salt. So 150 grams of that. I don't do oil. You can, if you want, put a splash of oil in there if you want to. So what else was I going to show you? That will be for another recipe that I'm going to make, which is in the Tarka dal recipe. Okay, so we've got our salt. We didn't do the Dutch carrots. So next we're going to blend, oh actually we're going to come back and we're going to blend that. So this is the first time I've made this recipe in my TM7, so it's not skipped the chopping side of it. So I'm going to come out of there and I will come here and I'll come to the blend function. And then I just need my lid. What did I do with my lid? Oh, here it is. Oh, that was the other tip I was going to show you. You may have seen on a lot of other Facebook pages, people doing a hack on holding your lid on your bowl. Now, I don't know that this is an official Thermomix thing, but you need to use this little bit here and you clip it underneath the silver part. Look, I personally won't be using it because I think it's a bit too fiddly, but if you're the sort of person that likes to be fiddle-faddling, I just take it off. The other one I've seen is where they put it at the back, but that is definitely way more fiddly just to get it to sit there properly. I personally, am not a big fan of this hack, but anyway, I'm just sharing all these things with you. So we'll put the lid on and we will go blend. That sounds like it's done to me. So lid unlocked. Ah, look at that. Yum. So this, I'll give that a quick scrape down and we will come back to the recipe. So to go back to the recipe, all I need to do is scoot down and go back to there. Now it's saying put my lid on and go. So this is going to steam. I can change, actually I don't know if it'll let me while I'm cooking. Actually I will stop it for a second and show you this. You can do steaming up the top, steaming with your basket inside, and steaming with your basket inside and your Varoma on top. But because it's going to the high heat, I'm actually going to come out of that and I'm going to come down. I'm actually going to go, because we used to do this on Varoma temperature on the TM6, but I'm actually going to come into manual mode and I will come in for 15 minutes on 100 degrees and speed 1 and go. I don't need it to go backwards, okay? That's speed 1. So you can stop and start, stop and start. So if I come here and come above speed 2, you'll see it's locked. If I come back down to speed 1, it's still stirring and turning, but the lid has unlocked. Now, I was also going to show you another thing. With all of these icons under here, you can choose to crush your garlic, you can grate your chocolate. But another thing you can find under here is if we put the word, what's coffee? It gives you the hack straight to grinding your coffee beans. If you choose to do chocolate, it will bring you straight into the hack of how to grate your chocolate. So dark chocolate has a different speed to the milk chocolate. I want it nice and fine. Then it puts the scales on. Obviously, it's not going to let me do that whilst I'm actually cooking. But that's just a quick tip on going through all of this, because sometimes there's a lot there and you might think, oh, where is that? So you can just put in your search, if you just put nuts, it will jump you straight to what you need. Chopping nuts, what sort of nuts? Almond meal, nice and fine, 250 grams, and away you go. So I hope that these were a couple of really simple little hacks for you. So I'm just going to flip you back around to say Cherry Missmas. I have quite a few things. Today has been my first day that I've actually had at home for, I don't know, about a month. I've been on the road. I went down to Sanctuary Cove to do a demo yesterday. I was in Mooloolaba during the week and Maroochydore. So anyway, love it. Always great to see you all back on the live. So if you've got any questions, please pop it into the comments. And oh, I forgot to tell you my most exciting news. I have finally updated my YouTube. I have employed a really lovely young fellow and giving him a little bit of pocket money. So he came the other day and he uploaded my lives because, as you probably know, Facebook delete them. or deleted all of them, bar the ones I managed to get up to YouTube. So I'm going to be updating my YouTube very regularly. The more lives I do, the more regular I'll be doing it. So I will also put that in the comments, but I'll also put it as pin in my Fermi Exciting page. So you can go straight in and have a look at my YouTube channel. So I'm a bit excited about that. The other thing I'm going to show you is, go up here on your iPad or on your phone. Obviously I'm on my phone. Your Thermomix will come up and tell you how much time you've got. And another thing, actually I'm going to flip the switch again. A lot of you that have a TM7 probably already know this little trick, but if I come into, let's make homemade custard, because that's a good time of year to be making custard. Send to my TM7. So that's the recipe brought up. Right hand side here, I can come to add to recipe list. Let's create a list called Christmas and save. I didn't spell Christmas correctly, but that's okay. I can go back and correct that. Another thing I'm going to be making for Christmas, and I make them every single year, are my nuts. So I'm going to come for nuts, spicy nuts. Which spicy nuts will I do? Oh, this first one that came up are spiced nuts with cranberries, and I'm going to send that to my TM7, and I'm going to add to a recipe list and add that to my Christmas. As you can see, I've got a lot of collections. This does come up alphabetically. If it doesn't, you can change that. Christmas. Oh, there's my Christmas. So I've actually started what I'm going to be doing for Christmas. So what else have I got here? Oh, mixed nut and seed spread. So these are some really cool gift ideas. Nut and seed butter. Add that, and these jars are super cute. Go to your op shop looking for these sort of things. They're you know, why pay, you know, $3 or $4 when you can get them for 50 cents? So we're going to come down and look for Christmas. There we go. Excellent. Okay, so that's me started. Thanks for your help. So, okie dokie. That's it for today. So go and have a great play with your TM7 if you have one. If you don't yet have one, or you've still got a TM6, TM5, you can absolutely do most of these things with those models. So some of the higher heat and stuff, but this Asian stock paste can be made in all four, 31, 5, 6 and 7, because it's not using any of the fancy dancy features. Anyway, remember to hashtag replay if you're watching later, and I'll see you all on the flip side. Bye. Remember my YouTube channel.